Hi everyone. So I have not posted in a couple of days. I've been taking some time to get a bit more organized and brainstorm some content ideas that I think would help the channel a little bit. I've noticed that so far I've only posted videos that are about like 25 to 30 minutes long, and that's pretty long for like new viewers to sit down and get acclimated and enjoy the content that I want to put out. So I've been deciding what I want to do, like some video playlists that I could do that are a bit smaller, shorter videos, just fun ways that aren't going to take so much time out of everyone's day for new viewers. That way they can come in, very briefly see like what I like to post and see if they like it themselves and then follow along. And one of those ideas for a shorter playlist video style, I decided that I'm going to be doing wishlist videos because I have a very large plant wish list. Originally, I was going to sit down and talk about 5 of my favorite plants that I wanted, but then I realized I could do videos on my variegated plants that I want. I could do playlists on my wish list for under 50 bucks, wish list for over $100, plant species wish list, types of plants, trailers, climbers, things like that. So I'm going to be doing little short videos, hopefully around like 10 minutes long, maybe a little bit shorter depending on how fast I can get through them without rambling. So I'm gonna start this one off with my top 5. If I could go out right now and grab any plant that I wanted and add it to my collection, what would it be? And to start that video off would be a Philodendron Florida Beauty. Recently, me and Ashley were talking about getting some new plants, and I got the Thai Constellation fairly recently and added that to my collection. And then she got a Philodendron Florida Beauty, which has been a plant that we've been trying to get for the longest time, and I'm so jealous that she got one before me. So that would be like my number one for now. For those of you that don't know, the Philodendron Florida Beauty is a variegated plant form. It's got usually has 6 offshoots on a single leaf. I'm gonna try to put photos in. I have not done photos in my videos before, so we're gonna see how it goes. And I'm gonna try to put them like in this area or like small right up there. We'll see. But I'm gonna put a photo in, that way everybody can see what it is. But I just love the yellow and cream variegation that it gets sometimes. It's perfection for me. Those plants though can be quite expensive. I know smaller versions of that plant, like 1-leaf cuttings, can go for about $200, sometimes cheaper, depending on the type of variegation it has, which is always a good option if you're on a budget. But I told myself that I would not get one that was not part of an established plant already. So like a 3-leaf group or higher. I have one in my Etsy cart right now that I've been eyeballing and hoping that nobody buys. And it's got about 7 leaves, and it is very pricey. Like, it's a very expensive plant for me in my area. And it's going for about $600 to $700 right now. So that one is definitely one that is up there for me. And I'm so excited to eventually add that to my collection. The next plant that I would want to get would be the Monastery Oreo. So in my, what video was that I talked about this? In my balcony tour video where I was doing my plant chores, I talked about how I have a reverted Monastery Oreo, which is really sad because it was doing so well. Originally, like, they were growing. They hadn't really put up any variegated leaves once we got our cuts. We did get the plant from a private seller. We just went over to his place. He was selling us a bunch of his plants. Like, he sold me that large form Monastery back there, which I did just recently cut with Ashley last night. And I posted about it a little bit on my TikTok, but he had a Monastery Oreo. and it had a couple of larger leaves and then some smaller ones that were variegated. So me and Ashley bought different pieces of the plant and then tried to grow and propagate it at home. That way we could make a whole bundle bush of Monastery Oreos. Unfortunately, I was learning how to do wet sticks and it did not go well, and unfortunately I lost my cuts. But Ashley was kind enough to give me one of hers to see if I could get it to variegate again. But so far we've not had any luck. So I would definitely want to get another Monastery Oreo. From what I can see right now, the prices on that are like all over the place. I see some that are like $200, some that are like $1. I think the most expensive one I see on here goes upwards of, let me see, $400, and these are for like 2-leaf cuttings. I full planted this though, from what I've seen so far on Etsy and online. I haven't seen anybody selling this locally to my area, only online. But a full plant, which is like 5 to 6 leaves, I see going for about $1,000, which is a lot of money. But I would definitely go for like a 2-leaf cut if I were able to get one tomorrow, because I do not have $1,000 to spend on a 7-leaf plant. I would love to though, if I could. But yeah, that's one that I've been eyeing too. So far, it's been on the back burner for me because I want to get something that I haven't had already, and then circle back to those ones that I haven't had success with. So number 2 on my list was the Monastery Oreo. Number 3, and I am on the fence about this one because it is the Monastery Sonai variegata, which I believe it is the narrow form that I am looking to get. They're not too expensive, but the thing with those plants are that I don't see very many people selling them for more than 1 leaf. And they are going for about $130 to possibly $150 to $200 for a 1 to 2 leaf cutting. Sometimes not even rooted, which is horrifying for me. Scares me to death to have to root an Sonai, because I have not had the best of luck with those in the past, just because the leaves are fairly thin, and with the variegation type that it is like a pure white variegation for the ones that I've been looking at. They do tend to brown fairly easy if they get too much light and if they get too much fertilizer. So those have been the ones that I'm like, I really would love to get, but I don't really want to have it sitting in my open apartment conditions or on my balcony, where the conditions can vary depending on however the day wants to be. So I do think I'm gonna put off getting the Monastery Sonai variegated form until I get my new Millsbo IKEA greenhouse. It's just a cabinet from IKEA that everybody has made a greenhouse out of, and I really want to do that, but I'm gonna wait for that. So that is number 3 on my wish list, but it's up there. I love that plant. I love the color of it. I love the way the fenestrations look. It's definitely one that me and Ashley have been looking at and just haven't been able to decide if we want to get it or not. But I have decided that once I get a greenhouse, I'm going to try to get that, either through purchase or trade. So that is number 3. Number 4 for me has to be, and this could be not the biggest opinion, but the Philodendron strawberry shake. Some people that I've seen online talking about this plant, they don't really like it because sometimes it gets like not a dark green, but like a slightly faded green look, depending on like how the variegation mixes with the green in the leaf. But I love it because it kind of gives me like a cream color, like a creamish white with the bright green once it gets bigger and matured. Usually when they start smaller, everything that I've seen about them is that they start small, slightly pinkish gray and brown on some leaves, which can be off-putting, having a pinkish brown leaf. To me, that makes it look like it's not doing so well, but it does get like bigger and the colors really start to come in as it grows. And the prices for this have also been varying. Like, I haven't been able to see something steady. But I've also tried to see people put pink princesses out as strawberry shakes when they're not at all like a reverted pink princess. But so far, everything that I see strawberry shakes going for are the very small starter, what looks like, what is it called? Tissue culture, but like the little tissue culture cup type of plants going for like 140, 130. And then I see here that reverted pieces can go for 60, which isn't bad if you can get it to variegate again, but that's always like a gamble. So here, a low priced, what they listed it as a low price. Strawberry shake philodendron going for $4.50, and it's got 6 leaves with the new offshoot. The variegation is pretty good. So yeah, that one's also up there in price. Definitely triple digits if you want something like established and with nice variegation. So that would be number 4 for me. And the last one is not so expensive at all, really. It's also kind of common depending on where you are located. And it's also one of those plants that like I did not expect myself to want. But I recently just got a string of hearts plant again. I only had one in the past, and just like most of my plants did when I first got into them, it did not do so well. So I had not tried to get another one, but I did recently. And it's doing fairly good. And now I've been dying to get the variegated form of it, but in like a full bushel. Like I love the congested hanging plant look. So I definitely would want to get a variegated string of hearts plant fairly soon. The starters are usually going for about 30 to 35, depending on like how big the little nursery pot is, which is a great little starting thing. But I don't think I've seen people selling full baskets. I might have to do some more research on that. Yeah, no, I see one hanging basket for 55, which is a great deal for me personally. But yeah. So those are the 5 plants that I would get, like if I could go out right now and get them. I'm definitely gonna be doing like more in-depth videos on these, maybe, possibly, I don't know yet, but definitely want to do more wishlist plant videos because those 5 are not all of the things that I want, and the prices do change, so I do want to get like a bit more information on like how much they cost in other areas. But for those of you that don't know, I'm in Florida, so these are the kind of prices that I see if I were to get them shipped to me from Florida. I try to only get plants shipped from the state. That way they get here within a day, because shipping scares me a little bit. But yeah, let me know if you guys liked this one. Also, if you could like the video, if you enjoyed it, that would mean a lot to me. You don't have to subscribe if you don't want to see my content every day when I post it. I know sometimes I get annoyed at my own voice as well, but if you did like the video and you think the content's pretty cool or decent, please give it a like. I'm gonna post more of these in the future, little short 15-minute videos, but yeah. And then I'm gonna update you guys on other videos that I'm gonna do too on my TikTok and Snapchat and Instagram. I think the next longer video that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try to throw in some short ones after this one, like maybe 3 or 4 short 15-minute, 10-minute videos. But my long video that I wanna do next is gonna be a apartment tour. I just finished reorganizing my living room, which I posted a little bit about on TikTok. And I just got some new plants that I'm gonna be propagating, hanging, doing some decor. So when all of that's done, I do wanna show you all. So that's gonna be the big video coming next, but keep a lookout for these smaller ones. And I hope you all enjoy. All right, bye.